Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by and welcome back to my channel where I explore themes of breath, mental health, and occupational well-being. In this video, I aim to break down the complex psychological theories and relate them to everyday life by diving into the fascinating world of Sigmund Freud and Erikson to explore how their theories of development might explain why some people are more prone to addictive behaviors. Spoiler alert, it all starts way earlier than you might think. Before I could go any further, if you've not already done, please do hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you get notified on my weekly content. So without any further ado, let's dive in. First up, let's talk about Sigmund Freud and his theory of psychosocial development. Freud believed that our personalities develop through a series of stages, each one focused on a different part of the body that provides pleasure. Think of them as the body's hotspots at different ages. Let's break it down with some practical analogies. The first stage is oral stage, which happens from birth around 1 year old. Think of a baby who just can't get enough putting everything in their mouth, whether it's a pacifier, a bottle, or even their own hands. According to Freud, if something goes wrong here, like not getting enough feeding or too much, the child might become fixated. Fast forward to the adulthood, this could translate into behaviors like smoking, nail biting, or even substance abuse. It's like someone who constantly needs have something in their mouth to feel satisfied. It's kind of like how you might reach for a snack when you're stressed. Next up is the anal stage from ages of 1 to 3. Here's where potty training come into play. Imagine a toddler learning to control their bowel movements. There's a lot of focus on control here. If parents are too strict or too lax during this stage, the child might develop what Freud called an anal fixation. In adulthood, this might show up as a need for extreme order and control. Think of someone who has to have everything perfectly organized. On the flip side, it can lead to messy, rebellious behavior. Either way, these traits could contribute to addictive behaviors like compulsive gambling or substance abuse as a way to either exert control or escape from it. The third stage is the phallic stage from ages of 3 to 6 is where things get a bit more complex. Freud believed that children start to identify with their same-sex parent and develop unconscious desires for the opposite sex parent, what he called the Oedipus and Electra complexes. If conflicts aren't resolved here, it could lead to fixation. In adults, this might manifest as a constant need for validation, like someone who's overly focused on their appearance or engages in the risky sexual behaviors, which could lead to sexual addictions. It's like always needing to be the center of attention, but taken to an extreme. Then we have the latency stage from the age 6 to puberty, where things cool down a bit. Kids are focusing on learning, friendship, and other social activities. But if they struggle to fit in or feel inadequate, they might develop low self esteem, which could later turn into an addictive behaviors as a way to cope. Imagine someone who felt left out as a child and later turns into an alcohol or drug addict to feel more confident in social situations. Finally, there is a genital stage from puberty onwards, which kicks in at the start of the puberty and lasts throughout the adulthood. If all the early stages were navigated successfully, this is when a person should develop a well balanced personality. But any unresolved issues can resurface as a sexual dysfunctions or addictions. Think of it like an unresolved childhood issues popping up in the adult relationships, leading someone to seek comfort in addictive behaviors instead of facing the root of the problem. Alrighty, let's switch gears to Erikson's psychosocial theory. So Erikson built on the Freud's idea, but took them further by looking at some social relationships to influence our development throughout our entire lives. He identified 8 stages, each with its own crisis to be resolved. Just like with Freud, unresolved conflicts in these stages can lead to problems in later life, including addiction. Let's look at some practical examples. The first stage is trust versus mistrust, happening in the first year of life. Imagine a baby who either gets consistent loving care or is neglected. If a baby learns to trust the caregivers, they carry that sense of security into the later life. But if trust isn't established, they might struggle with relationship and down the line turn to addictive behaviors like substance abuse as a way to deal with that insecurity. Next, there is an autonomy. Next stage is the autonomy versus shame and doubt from ages of 1 to 3. Picture a toddler learning to do things on their own, like dressing themselves or choosing what they want to play. If they are encouraged, they develop a sense of autonomy. But if they are overly criticized or controlled, they might develop a sense of shame and self doubt their abilities. In adulthood, this could lead to dependency on substances to feel in control. Then this stage is followed by the initiative versus guilt stage from the ages of 3 to 6. Imagine a kid who wants to explore and try new things like building a boat or playing dress up. If they are allowed to take initiative, they develop a sense of confidence. But if they are discouraged, they might feel guilty for trying to assert themselves. As adults, they might avoid taking risks or try new things, leading them to escape into addictive behaviors instead. Next is the stage of industry versus inferiority from ages of 6 to 12. This is when the kids start school and compare themselves to their peers. If they do well and receive praise, they develop a sense of competence. But if they struggle, on the other hand, or feel that they are not good enough, they might develop a feeling of inferiority. Later on, these feelings can turn up to an addictive behavior as a way to cope with the low self esteem. Then comes the stage of identity versus role confusion during the adolescent stage, that is the teen stage, where teens are figuring out who they are and where they fit in. If they successfully navigate this stage, they develop a strong sense of identity. But if they are confused about their roles or purpose, they might be more susceptible to the peer pressure and addictive behaviors as they search for a sense of belonging. Moving on from that is a young adulthood stage. We all face the intimacy versus isolation challenge. This is about forming close relationships. If someone struggles to connect with others, they might feel isolated or lonely. To cope, they could turn into addictive behaviors like drinking or drug use to fill that void. Moving on from the young adulthood to the middle adulthood, it's all about generativity versus stagnation. Here, the focus is on contributing to society and helping the next generation. If someone feels like they are not making a difference, they might experience stagnation. This could lead to a midlife crisis and potentially the addictive behaviors as they try to escape feelings of unfulfillment. Finally, in the old age, about 65 years, we have this challenge of integrity versus despair. This is when people look back on their lives. If they feel a sense of accomplishment, they achieve integrity. But if they have regrets, they might feel despair. To cope with these feelings, they might turn into addictive behaviors like substance use to numb their pain. So, as you can see, both Freud and Erikson offer valuable insights into how our early life experience can shape who we become and how we might cope with challenges, including the risk of developing the addictive behaviors. Understanding these theories can help us recognize the root cause of the addiction and hopefully lead to a better prevention and treatment strategies. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss an episode. Thanks for watching and staying until the end of this video. Stay curious, stay healthy. Signing off, Devi Sundar.